on the other network that shall not be named, but man, good times. The Alvin Green for Senator action figure, the Lindsey Graham boomerang, the Pete Stark pet rock. Um, Man, what else did we do? The Barney Frank magic bubble wand, a couple other great skits that we did over the years, and we'll be cycling them through here on the network moving forward. So you Spreaker listeners get a treat, little flashback into CB Media skit history. Um, anyway, so wanted to get right into the Thanksgiving thing because I'm only going to be here for an hour this evening. Not feeling too great, a little bit tired. So, but I didn't want to leave you all hanging here. Um, I know you guys are expecting a show, and so here I am, and I'm going to be holding forth for the next 45 minutes here. So, or 44 minutes now, looking at my little timer on my switchboard page. Anyway, so let's jump right into it. Let me see what else is. Hold on, my computer is trying to shut down on me. Oh, well, Windows has to update. Okay, postpone that. Sorry. Anyway, the joys of live broadcasting, A. Anyway, so for the Thanksgiving special, I wanted to get right into it and just go down sort of a list, and maybe explain a few things on the list, um, of things that I am thankful for this year, and you had damn well better be thankful for these things too. So, let me. Here we go. I got the wrong one loaded up on my sound files. Anyway, so things that I am thankful for. I am thankful, folks. I am thankful, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else I may have left out. I am thankful that we have in this country that was based on liberty, conceived in liberty, brought forth upon the face of this earth to ensure individual rights and to place restraints on a government so that they would never be able to infringe on individual rights. I am so thankful that in this country we saw fit to elect a president of the United States that would go on a worldwide tour apologizing for past American arrogance and apologizing for America getting in the way of other countries around the world from time to time. You know, as much as I am not a proponent of all of the foreign aid that we send flying around the world, all of these dollars that we print up and Ben Bernanke dumps out of helicopters all around the world, at the same time, I do not for a moment presume that America has been unduly arrogant and unduly gotten in the way of other countries around the world. As a matter of fact, America, since our founding, has been a force for good around the world. Yes, there are some adventures that we have, some expeditions that we have sent our military on that were perhaps not as well advised as they possibly could have been, maybe not as well thought out as they could have been, but nonetheless, there is nothing, frankly, there's nothing for the U.S. to apologize for. We have brought more people into a realm or an environment where they could achieve liberty. They could own a bit of freedom. We have done that for more countries around the world than any nation in history. Most empires in world history have sent their armies around the globe conquering other nations and enslaving and plundering the people of those nations. We have done the opposite in damn near every instance. So again, nothing to apologize for. But yet we saw fit to elect a president of the United States who would go on a worldwide apology tour. So I'm thankful for that this Thanksgiving. I'm also thankful that we saw fit to elect a president that would navigate his pet bill through Congress immediately upon taking office the first time around. And I'm talking about the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, because Lilly Ledbetter, after all, was a woman that had worked at a company for many, many years and saw fit to bring a lawsuit about pay discrimination because of her gender only after she had been retired for, more than a year from that company. The lawsuit that she brought was to extend the amount of time that she had to file that lawsuit. Now, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act brought into existence legislation that would allow unlimited, yes, you heard me correctly, unlimited amounts of time for people to sue their former employers for gender discrimination when it comes to pay and promotions. This is a gift to the Trial Lawyers Association, and President Obama saw fit to ram that through the Congress as his first major legislative act that was put on his desk and signed. And I am thankful that we have a population that would see fit to elect a man who would do that. I'm also thankful that we saw fit to elect a man to the presidency of the United States who would, on his very first day, issue executive orders drastically impacting the Mexico City policy and also calling for the shutting down of Guantanamo Bay, where some of the most dangerous terrorists and informants that we have captured since 9/11 are housed, and where, frankly, several people were kept and interrogated by the CIA, from which we gleaned the intelligence that led to the killing of Osama bin Laden, that this same president takes credit for. I'm also thankful that we saw fit to elect a president in George W. Bush that would bail out auto companies. And we saw fit to elect a president right on his heels that would continue the auto bailouts, using American taxpayer money to prop up GM and Chrysler to the tune of now over $40 billion that the American people will never see. But hey, as the president himself says,
you get a car company!
That's right. At least you get a car company. I'm also thankful that, oh, by the way, that car company, how is their stock doing right now? GM? Yeah. Their stock would have to reach $53 or $54 a share in order for, and the government would have to pull out at that point and sell their stock back to GM. They would have to reach $53 or $54 a share, and the government would have to pull out in order for us to break even on that deal. Somewhere around $8 billion that has been forgiven. yes, that has been forgiven to those companies. So I'm thankful that we have an American electorate that would do that. I'm also thankful that we have a president who would push through a stimulus package full of shovel-ready jobs that he later admitted jokingly and laughingly. He later admitted that these shovel-ready jobs were maybe not so shovel-ready. Ha 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 ha.
We don't joke about that.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't. And of course, putting in charge of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, the stimulus package, putting in charge of that, Joe Biden, his vice president.
Vice president that twists the facts and shuts the American people out?
Yes, yes indeed, because those stimulus projects were, well, the American people were kind of shut out of that process, weren't they? Yeah, the unions weren't. No. But yeah, we have a vice president that was put in charge of that, who twists the facts and, you know, again, the shovel-ready jobs that weren't quite so shovel-ready.
That's not funny.
No, it's not. Not at all. Now, let me see. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but
the show has been such a hit.
Well, yes, I'm hoping it has. Little convoluted here, but you know, I'm not sure I like this Spreaker switchboard thing where I actually have to drag files over before I can play them. So that's a little maybe not exactly as fluid as I would like it to be, but anyway, but I have a lot of sound files on the board that kind of relate to my Thanksgiving list, so
that's going to be good.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Anyway, so yeah, the stimulus thing. Also thankful this Thanksgiving that we have an electorate in this country that would see fit to elect a man to the presidency of the United States who would, let's see if you remember this one, who would shut down our West Coast missile defense the day after North Korea lobbed a rocket over Japan. Yes, that was early in the first term of President Obama, but nonetheless, yes, North Korea lobs a missile, test fires a missile, it flies over and lands off of the other side of Japan, and the very next day our U.S. West Coast missile defense is shut down. Well, President Obama had an excuse for that as well.
Your English is much better than my Korean.
That's right. So, at least there's that. Now, let me see. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so I'm thankful for that.
Thanks.
Right. Also thankful that we have a President of the United States who the American people saw fit to re-elect, who would take it upon himself to call the terrorist attack at Fort Hood workplace violence. Yes, a terrorist attack at Fort Hood where Major Nidal Hassan screamed Allahu Akbar before shooting and killing 14 human beings. Now, some of you may have heard 13, but don't let that number fool you. There were 14 because one of the female members of our armed forces at Fort Hood was pregnant.